Okay, moving right along with our Convertkit training here, our Convertkit overview. So we've talked about a lot of different things here and primarily getting a form created, setting up a sequence to go with that form, and then what do you do beyond that basically is the important thing, right? So it's one thing to set up your sequence, to set up your form. You've set up your basic form, you've connected it to a sequence, and now it's time to get a little bit fancier. We've talked about sending out a broadcast, but let's talk about what happens after as you go through here. First of all, I want to address something. I want to let you know that when the way ConvertKit works is you pay based on number of subscribers, okay? It used to really bother me when I saw people unsubscribe from my email list. But I want to tell you something that a wise counselor told me one time, a wise business friend, mentor. They said, listen, if they don't even want to read your emails, they're not going to buy what you're trying to sell to them. So they may have wanted your gift, your free gift, your download. They may have downloaded it. They may have realized instantly that this is not what they were looking for, right? They may have read an email or two and realized, I don't need this kind of help. I thought that it was one thing. I got what I needed. I'm done. There are lots of reasons. They may just hate. They may have come over and joined your Facebook group and then unsubscribed from your email list because they don't like emails. I don't want anybody ever getting caught up in this number right here, or even this number right here. You should go read 1,000 True Fans to talk about a book that explains how important it is to have the right kind of fans, not millions of the wrong kind of fans. These are the numbers that are important right here. A 56.6% open rate is phenomenal. Okay? That is ridiculous. Like the industry standard, a good number in the industry standard is something along the lines of 30%. So this number right here, and I can tell you I have some sequences with an open rate of 0.2%. So now I have like 40 sequences going on different projects and things. But the thing is, like, this tells you it tells you two things. It says, one, you've captured the right audience. You've got the right people on your email list, and there is a very high probability that these people are going to become raving fans, are going to buy your book, are going to join your program, or at a minimum are going to continue consuming your content until the day that comes. Okay? This is, and the second thing it tells you is that you're writing great email headlines that are getting people to open your email because it's relevant to them, or they recognize your email address and are like, that's someone I want to receive emails from, and open it. So this number, as long as you're really above, I would say even 15%, 20%, keep it above 20%, and you know you're doing a good job with your sequence. And then this click rate is amazing too. That means that the things that you are putting in your email, they are actually clicking on those links. So that means you are providing relevant information, or like I know in this one, we invite them to join the Facebook group multiple times, more so than we send them to other resources. So they're either clicking on your website link, or they're clicking on your Facebook group link, or they're clicking on something, but they're clicking. So that's amazing. It's fantastic. And these people, let them go. Don't even think about it. You don't have to pay for them is what you have to think about it. You're not wasting time on someone who's never going to be interested in what you're doing. And let's be honest, at the end of the day, we are doing this to sell books, to sell our product, and to get more clients. So we don't want people that don't want to be there. Never ever fret about unsubscribers unless you made a boo-boo, and then, well, whatever. Okay. So we have, just as a reminder, we have a form that we're going to put places. And that is how people sign up for our opt-in. So right now that this is a new account, we have a sample form that I was just messing around with. We have her conflict-free conversation checklist. This is another rate that is amazing. So we know it's good. She's had 86 visitors go look at them. 40 have subscribed. That's only almost a 50% conversion rate. That's great. Okay. That tells us, because not everybody is going to sign up for your checklist no matter how good it is. No matter how good any opt-in is, not everybody wants to give away their email address. Okay. Or they may come back and check it out later, or they might have come to the page and gotten distracted when their kid came in or the phone rang or whatever. So, almost 50% conversion is incredible. And then I added a website pop-up. And the reason I added a pop-up to her site, and the reason I suggest you do a pop-up option too, is that stats show, business stats, whoever does those stats people show that businesses that have a pop-up on their website add on average 3,000 new subscribers to their list. So you can change the verbiage on your website. Let's say you are running some kind of a coupon code for 10% off your course, or a $25 code discount for a coaching call or something like that. You can put something like that in your pop-up. And I guarantee you, if it's somebody who's been to your site and they're interested in a coaching call with you, a $25 off your coaching call cost is something that's going to attract them, and they will put their name in there for that list. Now, with the pop-ups, you don't know if they just did it to get it out of their way. You don't know if they just did it for that one-time coupon code. You don't know why they did it. So they may not be the most reliable people, but I can tell you in the past week or so, at least 5 times I've gone to visit a business website and the pop-up has popped up, and it's something that I am interested enough in to be receiving updates or future specials or resources or whatever it is, that I will gladly put in my email address to get whatever it is that they are sending out on a regular basis. Writing tips, publishing tips, social media marketing tips, anything like that that I want to be consuming, I will give them in a heartbeat. We just added this. I don't spend too much time worrying about it because this is just an additional way. This is where we're at because this is based on her target audience, the people that she wants to be growing in her community, the people that she wants to be sharing her knowledge with and growing as clients and fans and all that stuff. So this is where we pay attention. Okay, so we've gone in, we've set up our form, we're getting people to register, we set up our sequence, we set up a rule. If you don't remember all of these things, go back and watch parts 1, 2, and 3 of the tutorials. We set up a rule so that every time somebody signs up for this checklist, then they get added to this sequence. And then we started adding the emails to the sequence. You can have 150 emails in your sequence, or you can have 2. It's entirely up to you and what is relevant for your people. The thing you need to remember about your email sequence is that the emails that you put in here go to everybody who is on your sequence. So if we decide to turn this one off for some reason, like if we change the opt-in or if we do anything whatsoever with this email, if we put it into draft mode, up here, if we change the status from published to draft, once we put it back to published again, it's going to send to everyone who has ever subscribed to your email list. So you have to be careful about turning on and off a sequence and just be ready for the fact that when you turn it back on again, everybody's going to get it. So you may or may not want to do that. In some cases, it's a really good thing to do that. Likewise, every time you add a new email, and I like to space them out 2 to 4 days apart, depending on what the material is. If your download is a book, you might want to give them at least a full week before you reach out with the second email. Because that email, it might not be enough time for them to have even consumed any of the information, but about a week to remind them, hey, have you read the book? What are your thoughts? All that kind of stuff. Okay, 3 to 4 days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks in between the emails. So you set that up here like I showed the other day. And then once you enter your email and once you are happy with the way it reads and everything that's going on, you save and then you change it from status of draft to published. So as soon as you do that, it's going to start sending the content. Now, even though it says after 4 days here, it's based on after 4 days from the last time this email sent. So if it's been 2 weeks since you added this email to the sequence, everybody's going to get this email immediately. So keep that in mind. Everybody who's been at least 4 days. Now, if they just joined your sequence yesterday, they're still working through this. So all these dates are based on when they signed in to the opt-in form. Okay? So let's go back to this one because it's already sent. And I can show you in the reports. It will tell you exactly what's happening here. It says how many people you've had subscribe, who's unsubscribed, all this jazz. And then it'll show you where people are unsubscribing. So, one person decided right away, oops, I don't want to be part of this. Great open rate on the initial email, which you would expect. We haven't gotten to the point, and it'll show you. So here, there were 44 people that originally opted into this. So 44 people have been sent this email. Great open rate, great click rate. Then the second one, 2 days out, we had some people unsubscribe in between. And they may have, now the reason you might say, how come it's 44 here and 39 here and 1 subscriber? They may have unsubscribed from your email list when a broadcast is sent out. So a broadcast is an email to the entire list. And that's okay too. If you're sending relevant information to your whole list and they're unsubscribing, that's okay too. It gets them out. You're not paying for them. So, but that's why these numbers would be different. Still great open rate. So we just published the other one a few days afterwards. Nobody's gotten to the point of the sequence where they have received this email yet. So by the time we get it should start sending very, very soon because we should be close to the point where it's been 2 days since everybody received this email. And then once that sends, you'll know how many people have received it and how many people are opening it. And then this email is going to go 4 days after this email sends. So you'll be able to continue to see that. You can click in your settings and decide maybe you don't want people to receive emails on Sunday or Monday. Maybe you don't want them to receive emails until 10 a.m. every day, Eastern or GMT or whatever. So you can go in here and you can set it up. You can create an email template. And this is kind of cool right here. You can exclude subscribers. So this is important when it comes to a program launch. For example, when somebody buys your program, and of course you have to set up rules and automations and all this for it to happen, and that's pretty complicated, but just as an overview here, you can tag people, or if you've got 2 opt-ins that are very, very similar, receiving the same content, you can say, okay, if somebody is already subscribed to Form A, then I don't want them to also receive this sequence because it's the same information. And you don't want people unsubscribing from your list because they're getting duplicate emails. You can tag people. You can add people to a particular segment. You can say, okay, I have a segment that's only for the actual teens. Like if you have an opt-in that's just for the teens, not for the parents, then you can say, I don't want teens getting this line of content that's for the parents. You can also duplicate this sequence. So if you do another opt-in that's super duper similar to this one, and you don't want to go back and copy and paste everything, you can just duplicate, rename the sequence, and go on from there. So that's more tips there. Okay. Now, I want to talk just quickly about what happens after you have completed your sequence, but you want to continue sending emails out to the people on your list. I suggest that in your 4th or 5th, we're still building out this sequence here. I think there's going to be 6 emails total in this list, and the final one will be a pitch for her book, to buy the book. After that last email, and I'm about to run out of time on this recording, so actually this is kind of a complicated or something that I want to be on its own. So I'm going to wrap up this video and we're going to pick up here in the next video.